Adhyatma Padavi, the path of philosophical speculation. Sa, he, eva certainly, adya na, akshno, of both eyes, ya, who, pati, on the path, charasi, you move, vrityan, servants, avasi, protect, na, us. Translation by Jivanka Sisi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The demigod said, Dear Lord, formerly, when there was a devastation, you conserved all the different energies of material manifestation. At that time, all the inhabitants of the higher planets, represented by such liberated souls as Sanaka, were meditating on you by philosophical speculation. You are therefore the original person, and you rest in the water of devastation on the bed of the Sesa snake. Now, today, you are visible to us, who are all your servants. Please give us protection. The devastation indicated in this verse is the partial devastation of the lower planets within the universe when Lord Brahma goes to sleep. The higher planetary systems, beginning with Mahara, Janaloka, and Tapaloka, are not inundated at the time of this devastation. The Lord is the creator as indicated in this verse because the energies of creations are manifested through his body and his annihilation. He conserves all the energy within his abdomen. Another significant point in this verse is that the demigod said, We are all your servant, Vrityan. Give us your protection. The demigods depend on the protection of Vishnu. They are not independent. Bhagavad Gita therefore condemns the worship of demigods because there is no need of it and clearly states that only those who have lost their sense go asking favors of the demigods. Generally, if anyone has material desires to be fulfilled, he can ask Vishnu instead of going to the demigods. Those who worship demigods are not very intelligent. Besides that, the demigods say, We are your eternal servants. So those are who serve or devotees of the Lord are not very much concerned with fruitive activities. The performance of prescribed yajnas or mental speculation. They simply serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead sincerely with love and faith, performing everything with that loving service, and the Lord gives such devotees direct protection. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Simply surrender unto me, and I will give you protection from all the reactions of sinful activities. This material world is so created that one has to act sinfully, knowingly or unknowingly, and unless his life is dedicated to Vishnu, he has to suffer all the actions of sinful activities. But one who surrenders and dedicates his life for the service of the Lord has direct protection from the Lord. He has no fear of suffering from sinful activities, nor does he desire, willingly or unwillingly, to do anything which is sinful. ॐ ज्ञानातिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखावितं हे कृष्ण बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे लाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमो. So thank you so much for joining this wonderful Sangha every day at 6:30, discussing verse by verse from this beautiful subject matter. And here there are two main aspects which is being discussed and is eventually concluded by Srila Prabhupada, which is the main focus of this conversation. So here, the demigods are speaking, and who they are speaking to? They're speaking to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, in this case. So uh, here Vishnu is referred as someone who is a master, and devas or devatas in that case, the demigods, are referred as vrityas. Vrityas means servants. So here the demigods are referring them to themselves as vrityas in comparison to Vishnu, who they're seeking protection. So here Prabhupada is concluding that through various different theories and dialogues, that the demigod worship should not be pursued, because demigods themselves are seeking protection. So one who is seeking protection from others, how can he give protection to the souls who are calling out? So whenever some of our devotees, or sometimes some of us, they try to go through the channel of the demigods, that, as per Bhagavad Gita, is not the right process. It's an incomplete process to go through demigods. And this is also vindicating the fact as to how physically, during the time of Brahma goes through the process of creation and annihilation. He goes through. So when the annihilation happens, the devastation takes place. There are three lokas, and there are multiple lokas, planetary systems. The three lokas who are uh, devastated, and some which are not touched. So when Lord devastates this entire creation, so he leaves certain lokas or planetary systems to remain, and those energies are manifested through Lord's body, or in this example, Srila Prabhupada is saying through his abdomen. So another way to look at this verse is to understand that Lord is the supernatural, and we are part and parcel. We are little energies which are essentially uh, part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, how we should see this? So, in one sense, this verse is talking about the demigod worship has should not be followed, and we should always be going and worshipping the worshipable, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, Antavattu phalam tesam tad vati alpamedhasam. That means, alpamedhasam means people of small intelligence. Alpa means small, and medhasa means intelligence. So men of small intelligence worship the demigods. And all of you who are worshipping Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Radha Sam Sundar Jagannath Balta Subhara Gaur Nitai, as Krishna themselves, are not men of small intelligence. Essentially, you have realized that the right personality, and he is a supreme personality, and who he should be worshipped is Krishna, or Supreme Personality of Godhead. So men of small intelligence worship the demigods. Antavattu phalam tesam tad bhavati alpamedhasa. And their fruits are limited and temporary. As you saw, Deva Uvacha, the Devatas are feeling that they are Vrityas in front of Vishnu. And that's why their results or their fruits are limited and temporary. So whenever we seek bliss by doing devotional service or doing some activity, it never ends. It essentially goes from one festival to another, one service to another. It is unlimited. If you look at the bliss, if you're deriving bliss from devotional service, and it goes on and there are happiness in the family. People leave, there is sadness in the family. But devotional service gives us closer to the essence, and that's why the fruits of Krishna are unlimited and are permanent, whereas the worship, the result from the worship of demigods and their fruits are limited and temporary, as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 7.23. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. His favor is unlimited. His mercy is unlimited. And as we all know, demigods are different parts of the body of Supreme Lord. So people of less intelligence, in their ignorance belief, they think that every demigod is a part of God. When somebody is part of that, then he is not the whole. Like if I say, my hand is part of my body, and my hand tries to do everything the body tries to do, the hand will not be successful. Likewise, the part should never feel that he is the whole, and the whole is the super complete, the supreme and complete form of the worshipable Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Aras Sabhavritya Yare Eche Nachaye Sitayeche Kare Nritya. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 5.142, it's mentioned Ekale Ishvara Krishna Aras Sabhavritya. Only Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it is mentioned so many times. And Arashrava Vritya. Vritya means servants. Aras, and they are Nuna or servants. Yare eche nachay, setayeche karanitya. So whoever Krishna wants to dance, the people, they dance to the tune of Krishna. And if you like it or not like it, you have to dance to the tune of Krishna. And in devotional service, the path of dancing to the tune of Krishna is enjoyable. That's why devotees derive a lot of pleasure. And whenever we have this pushback attitude, whenever we have the attitude wherein we are not accepting in our viewpoints, we realize that if something has to happen by the mercy of Krishna or by the jurisdiction of Krishna, it's going to happen. And however you protest, you post-mortem, however you do whatever, it is bound to happen. There are certain things, it's better it happen the way Krishna wants, because sometimes he knows more complete and better about you than you yourself. So, Ekale Ishvara Krishna, Arasava Vritya, Yare Yache, Nachay, Sitayeche Kare Nitya. So, however Krishna wants you to dance, you'll dance. It's better to like and better to understand the essence of his intentions so that the dance will be pleasure and will not be a challenge or a problem. So Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller and all others are his servants. They dance as he makes them dance. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is a very detailed, very intimate. There are certain things in Chaitanya Charitamrita which is not even written in Srimad Bhagavatam. You know, some of the verses we are going in the evening about Srimad Radharani. But essentially, we should look at the nectar or the essence rather than going through the, uh, you know, imaginary and philosophical intent. Because Chaitanya Charitamrita is written by some of the purest devotees of the Lord, and we are often not at that level to understand their depiction of the relationships as in. But this is a beautiful verse wherein we should recognize that Supreme Personality of God, however He wants us to dance, we should dance and we should start enjoying that. Once you enjoy that repulsiveness and the attitude to fight against inevitable will go away. And And also Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Akama Sarvakama Va Mokshakama Udaradi, Trivena Bhakti Yogena, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, Yajate Purusham Param. Then a person who has broader intelligence, a person as we in the 7.23 we spoke about Alpamedhasha, that means the people who are of lower intelligence. Here in Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10, Akama Sarvakama Va Mokshakama Udarati. Tivrena Bhakti. Tivrena means with deep uh, with deep intensity. Tivrena, intensity, Bhakti Yogena, Yajate Purusham Param. So that means of all the ways of liberation, a person who has broader intelligence, whether he is full of material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, must by all means worship the Supreme, this personality of Godhead. So that is our position. The position is to go and abide by the methods. And sometimes it may not appear obvious to us. That's why there is a method to this madness. And this method to this madness can only be understood when we hear it from a pure devotee of the Lord, like Acharya. And by doing that, we increase, multiply our strong faith in bhakti or the loving devotional service. And we are in different paths, we are at different point of our sadhana, and sometimes this conflicting nature is because of our sheer ignorance. But eventually, when you see the handiwork of the Lord, you see this puzzle, the Lego blocks, life coming together, and you realize why Krishna has that plan for you. And then you understand that whatever is mentioned in scriptures are 200, 300% accurate. So Dhruva Maharaj, in this example, was was looking for, to take over planetary systems because he was denied his dad's lab by his stepmom. And because of that, he was so angered that he wanted a, a land or or planetary systems which can encompass well beyond his father's. And when Narad Muni came and started, he was going through the path of jnana or yoga to try to capture the entire world, when the entire planetary systems were given to us, and at the same time, bhakti or love for devotional service was offered by his guru, Narad Muni, through the chanting of the mantra Narad Muni gave him. He realized the difference. Even Dhruva Maharaj was burnt out for a long, long time. He was seeking kingdoms, he was seeking huge things because he was misbehaved by his mother-in-law, by his stepmother. And the stepmother did not allow him to sit in the lap of his father. And because of that stepmom's behavior, he was so angered that when Narad Muni is about to give him his realization, also came not immediately. It came after Narad Muni went through the motions of explaining. And then Dhruva Maharaj is saying he was looking for a broken piece of glass, but what Bhakti gave him through Narad Muni's initiation and through the process of loving the Supreme Personality of Godhead is nothing other than diamond. So he was looking for these kingdoms, planets, just to counter the inertia of that insult. But actually, there are bigger things in life than little insults we all get in our wherever, in our job or in your place of, whether it's worship or work is worship in the place of work, or in your in a game you're playing, where there is a bit of a banter. But but do you think when this banter or sledging happens, the people leave the field? No, they counter it. They counter it with a fighting spirit to win the game, whether it's a game of any game for that matter. And and likewise, how to see in a mist with clarity where the vision is not clear, the visibility is restricted. And that's when Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita leads us to a path wherein we lead clarity in our lives, and we seek confidence. Srimad Bhagavatam in the morning, and Srimad Bhagavatam's uh, activities, the relationships, the pastimes, they all make us very strong. There is something to aspire towards. Have a bright spot in the morning, because Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken by a incarnation of the Lord, Vyasadeva, and is spoken about the Lord with glorifying. So it is uh, because Vyasadeva was not very happy writing so many Puranas, Upanishads. He finally had to write Bhagavad Purana or Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the Amala Purana, which is the spotless scripture, because it gives so many interactions, so many little pastimes about the Lord, King Durgas giving away the cows, and how that manifested into something, and what is the lesson to be learned to Dhruva Maharaj for that matter, so Prahlad Maharaj for that matter. And then there is Damodar Lila. There's so many beautiful, countless pastimes. This Maitreya Samvad, Maitreya Vidu Samvad, which we are actually, it's actually a recursive loop. We are basically hearing what is going on between Maitreya Muni and Vidurji, and fast forward in a recursive loop. So all these are wonderful, powerful anecdotes to learn and lead our life and gain strength in bhakti, which so Srimad Bhagavatam is a must to foster or rather strengthen our bhakti. And and finally, Lord mentions सर्वधर्मान् परित्याज्य माम एकम शरणं व्रज अहम तम सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षयामि मा शुचः. Towards the end, 18.66, he leads us to the end game of surrender. If after reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, we haven't uh, increased our percentage of surrender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna by 1% or 2%, then we are truly not absorbing the message. And I think we all should be in that mood too. So this verse talks about a lot of things, especially about the less intelligence people, about why Lord is essentially supreme. And who is saying this? Not us. Is Deva Uvacha. This verse starts with Devatas, or the demigods, saying it. That who is the Supreme Personality of God? The Supreme Personality of God, Vishnu or Krishna. And Lord Krishna alone is the Supreme Controller, and all are his servants. Ekala Ishvara Krishna, Arasava Vritya. And we dance to his tune. Akama Sarvakama, Vamakshukama Udarati. And so, just to summarize, in the last few minutes left, is this whole process of demigod worship is not recommended in the scriptures, and we should all aspire to serve the one and only Supreme Personality of Godhead. And secondly, why demigod worship is not recommended? Because they themselves are not whole. They are part, and their boons are incomplete, and they are not sustainable. And that's the reason why when their pious credits go down, they come down the planetary system. And after they gain pious credits, they go up. And this verse, which is uttered by the demigods, beautifully depicts how they themselves are feeling a sense of surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and why we all should learn from this aspect of demigods are actually not all demigods at all times are really bad. Some demigods are really very nice, unless the pride or ahankar prompts them to do things which is not recommended. So that's all I wanted to share. Just to summarize, that even devatas feel that they are vrityas, or servants of the Supreme Personality of God. So with that, I'd like to end here. So thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Amitav. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day ahead and weekend ahead. And we'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shri Nrsimha, Jai Nrsimha, Jai Jai Nrsimha, Prahlades, Jaya Padma Mukhamat, Mukhapadma Bhingam,
Ugraviram Mahavishnu,
Ugraviram Mahavishnu, Jalantam
Jalantam
Saratom,
Saratom,
Nrsimham
Vishnu Bhadram Mrityu
Namami. Ham Nrsimha Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad ki Jai.
Ki Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the Samal Vaishnavas, Patitanam Pavane
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Vaishnavinda ki Jai, Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gar Premanande.
Hare Hare Hare.
Thank you, Heman Jagannath Prabhu. Thank you, Hari Bol.
Thank you, everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.